Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, the IU men's soccer team is #1 in the nation, but how did they fare in their Big Ten home opener?
And the women's soccer team has some exciting young faces. This is Hoosier Sports Night. Hello everybody and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Austin Machicardi.
And I'm Lydia Knoll. The Indiana football team took to the road this past weekend to face the Virginia Cavaliers. The Hoosiers left Charlottesville celebrating their first win of 2017. Peyton Ramsey led the Hoosier offense by racking up 225 all-purpose yards and 3 total touchdowns.
Indiana wide receiver Jay-Shun Harris earned Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week honors after returning a punt for a touchdown. This marks Tom Allen's first win as IU's head coach. The IU football team was looking to make it back-to-back wins on Saturday when they were scheduled to host Florida International. However, the Miami-based school had to cancel due to complications related to Hurricane Irma. The matchup between the two football teams has been deferred to 2024. To preserve their 12-game schedule, which included 6 home games, IU football has scheduled a game against the Charleston Southern Buccaneers for October 7th.
This date was previously the Hoosiers' bye week. IU Athletics will pay Charleston Southern $500,000 and up to $150,000 travel allowance for agreeing to play at Memorial Stadium. The Hoosiers football team will be back in action on Saturday, September 23rd, when they host the Georgia Southern Eagles.
Early Thursday morning, it was reported that former Indiana football player Camion Patrick was arrested in connection with a murder near his hometown in Tennessee. Patrick was reportedly arrested on Wednesday morning in Bloomington and is being held in Monroe County Correctional Center. He'll be extradited to Blount County, Tennessee, pending a possible extradition hearing, and faces 1 charge of criminal homicide, according to a report from the Knoxville News Sentinel. Patrick's younger brother, Isaiah Wright, was also arrested on the same charge. Patrick's college football career ended on August 24th when he was granted a medical hardship waiver. Following the waiver, he had continued his studies as a student at Indiana University until his arrest. As more information about the situation comes forth, we will continue to update the story on our social media pages and here on Hoosier Sports Night.
The Indiana men's soccer team was tested last Friday as the Hoosiers went down to the wire with #2 ranked Maryland. IU's defense put on a top-class performance by not allowing a single shot on goal from a talented Terrapin side. However, the match ended in a 0-0 draw as both teams failed to find the back of the net.
The men's soccer team was back in action on Wednesday when they played their Big Ten home opener. Our Juan Alvarado was there to catch the action.
The #1 soccer team in the country was back in action Wednesday night for a conference showdown against the #18 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Mother Nature could not stop these two teams as they battled underneath the rain in what was a very physical game. Each side recorded 19 fouls. The match's first goal came in the 12th minute as IU turned up the pressure in its attacking end. Junior defender Andrew Gutman put away his 3rd goal of the season to give the Hoosiers a 1-0 lead. The Wolverines answered in the 50th minute on what would be the final goal of the game. After 2 overtime periods, both teams settled with a 1-1 draw. IU will look to take its unbeaten record on the road this Sunday in a match against Northwestern.
Well, we don't know what they'll do. I mean, they have traditionally against us sat pretty deep in their lines, and it's what it is. Who knows, they might change, but that's what they've done the last couple times. So we'll talk about being patient, not getting frustrated if they do drop, and wait for those opportunities. And we're going to need some really good service and guys committed to getting in the box and scoring some with the head or what have you.
Following this road game, the Hoosiers will return to Bill Armstrong Stadium for a 4-game home stint. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Juan Alvarado.
IU remains undefeated with a 4-0-2 record and will be facing Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And speaking of soccer, Lydia, you had a chance to speak with some of the women's soccer players.
Yeah, I did. Earlier this week, actually, I got to interview two of the girls who came to Indiana from outside the United States. This year, freshman Hannah Nemeth joined the team from Hungary. Check it out.
While football and basketball recruiting are heavily followed here in the States, soccer recruiting looks beyond the national borders. The Indiana women's soccer team has recruited girls from all across the globe. This year, freshman Hannah Nemeth of Hungary joins the team.
My transition has been very good so far. All the teammates are very kind and very helpful. They try to make me as comfortable as possible. I've spent more than a month here now, so I'm trying to get into a habit of doing things and going to school and going to practice, but there are definitely some differences that I have to get used to.
Hannah isn't the only player to cross country borders in pursuit of her dream to play college soccer. In fact, 5 other players on the Indiana women's soccer team come from outside the United States as well. 3 of those players came from Canada, 1 of the players is from Austria, and 1 player, sophomore Julia DeAngelis, is the farthest from her home in Australia. I had the chance to catch up with Julia and ask about her transition to the States, as well as her role as a mentor to Hannah and other international players.
But I feel like Hannah's really transitioned so well. Like, she came with such a positive attitude, and all the girls love her so much. And she's got like such a great sense of humor. So I think at the moment, from what I know, I think she's doing really well. But if she needed anything, I think I could definitely lend a hand.
So I like that I'm not the only international player on the team, because if I ever miss home or something, I can just turn to them and they experience the same thing as I am.
Hannah and the women's soccer team currently hold a 4-3-1 record and will start conference play this week.
And on the topic of women's soccer, this past weekend the team traveled to Texas to face number 23 SMU and North Texas. The Hoosiers played at number 23 SMU on Friday night with a strong defensive performance from both teams. Forward Meyer Piper scored the lone goal of the game in the 80th minute. Freshman goalkeeper Bethany Kopel earned her 3rd shutout of the season. Indiana's 1-0 win over number 23 SMU is the Hoosiers' first win against a ranked opponent since 2010. After the victory, head coach Amy Burberry said, "I think this team can be really special this year."
On Sunday afternoon, Indiana faced off against North Texas. The Hoosiers were down a goal early in the game until forward Abby Allen scored in the 38th minute. Indiana headed into half up 2-1 on the Mean Green. North Texas scored a goal in the 73rd minute and found the back of the net again moments later in the 75th minute to lead Indiana 3-2. Forward Michaela Brown came in clutch, scoring a goal to tie the game with 52 seconds remaining in regulation. Indiana and North Texas were still tied 3-3 at the end of 2 overtimes. The Hoosiers ended their non-conference play with a draw.
Next, the Hoosiers open up Big Ten Conference play at Michigan State on Thursday with kickoff set for 7 p.m. After 4 straight road games to start the season, the IU field hockey team returned home this past weekend to play a pair of MAC teams. And it was senior leadership that led the way for the Hoosiers. Here's IUSTV reporter Austin Render with the story.
Hi, I'm Austin Render from the IU Field Hockey Complex, where the Hoosiers completed a successful homestand, defeating Central Michigan and Miami of Ohio. The Hoosiers began their 2017 home season against Central Michigan on Friday. Although they went down 1-0 early, the Hoosiers bounced back as senior captain Elle Hemp scored her first goal of the season, and Maddie Latino chimed in as well, taking a 2-1 lead to halftime. The second half was all IU as Sierra Gerard and Kelsey Geis added a goal apiece to give IU a 4-1 win over the Chippewas.
I think we were off to a slow start with them scoring first, but we kept our composure and were able to come back at the end of the first half and in the second half. I also thought it was really good that we had equal scoring in both halves so that we didn't reach a peak in either half.
Well, we all worked really hard in practice, so it was really great to see everybody score. Elle's been working hard, Kelsey's working hard on that L1, so it was great to see.
The Hoosiers returned to action on Sunday against Miami of Ohio. The Redhawks controlled the first half until Maddie Latino broke the seal 1 minute before the break to tie it up at 1. Latino also stepped up, down 1 goal in the second half to tie the game at 2 and eventually score the goal that sent it to overtime. Then in OT, Latino finished off her hat trick with the game winner to beat Miami 3-2 in thrilling fashion.
It was a tough fight today. Miami's a talented team, and they really put us under pressure. So we're so pleased with our team to go down goal and fight back. It really shows the perseverance and the character of our squad. And overtime wins feel great. It's so hard to play the 7v7. The girls really exhaust themselves out there. So to come away with a big win is exciting today.
We always talk about halftime being a very significant part of the game. We always want to have a lead in halftime, and knowing that there was a minute left, I always keep in my mindset to we play until that whistle blows. So it was really crucial to get that goal, because going into halftime we had the momentum, and that obviously carried into the second half.
The Hoosiers are now 4-2 and will get ready for Big Ten play starting this weekend. Reporting for IUS TV, I'm Austin Render.
The Hoosiers are at home again this weekend, playing host to the 11th ranked Maryland Terrapins Friday at 3 p.m.
With the unexpected cancellation of the football game, you now have a free weekend to earn Crimson Guard reward points at other events. Each week, these points are given to students who attend home athletic events, and the points can be later used for prizes such as food, gift cards, and IU gear.
Here are the events that you can get to this week to start earning your points.
New IU men's basketball coach Archie Miller has made some waves in recruiting over the last few months, and he's done it again. IUS TV Sports men's basketball beat reporter Zan Piarli joins us in studio with the story.
Thanks, Austin. First-year IU men's basketball head coach Archie Miller picked up another key recruit in the class of 2018 on Monday with the addition of 3-star forward Jake Forrester. Forrester, standing at 6 feet 8 inches and 215 pounds out of Morristown, Pennsylvania, becomes the 4th member to commit to the Hoosiers in the class of 2018. Forrester made his commitment official on Twitter, posting a message that read, "First off, I want to thank God always. To my parents, I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate all of the support that you have given me throughout this whole entire process. I want to thank Coach Miller for offering me a scholarship to Indiana University, and I'm proud to say that I will be a Hoosier." The number 37 power forward in the class of 2018 took an official visit to Seton Hall on September 2nd before his visit to IU on September 8th. He planned to make visits to Pitt, Xavier, and Virginia Tech following his visit to IU, but instead he wasted no time and committed to Coach Miller 3 days after visiting Bloomington. Forrester is tabbed as a stretch forward who can run the floor well, rebound, and even step outside the arc and knock down a three-pointer. The Forrester commitment now moves Archie Miller's inaugural recruiting class to number 3 in the nation, according to 247 Sports, as he joins 4-star forwards Jerome Hunter and Demezi Anderson, as well as 4-star guard Rob Finnessy. The Hoosiers have one more scholarship to give in the class of 2018, with all eyes squared on New Albany, Indiana, and the 5th-ranked player in the nation, Romeo Langford, who will make his official visit to IU in late October at Hoosier Hysteria. Back to you guys at the desk.
With the start of basketball season just over a month away, make sure to follow us on Twitter for all your IU basketball updates. When Hoosier Sports Night continues, the IU volleyball team took yet another tournament crown last weekend.
And one IU women's basketball player nearly got the chance to represent her country. Stay tuned to Hoosier Sports Night. Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night. On Thursday, the IU Athletics Department made a major announcement regarding an upcoming project. IU Athletics Director Fred Glass announced that the J. Wilkinson family made a $10 million contribution to the Indiana University Bicentennial Campaign for Athletics. This new funding will go towards the construction of the new home for volleyball and wrestling, which will be named Wilkinson Hall. The 2,500 to 3,000 seat arena will be located on the east side of Cook Hall on the IU Athletics campus and is set to be completed by September 2018.
Last weekend, the Hoosier volleyball squad traveled to Evansville to compete in the Dunn Hospitality Invitational. The Hoosiers defeated Evansville, UT Martin, and University of Alabama Birmingham, improving their record on the season to 9-0. Elizabeth Asdell, Deja Lofton, and Victoria Brizak earned a spot on the all-tournament team, with Asdell being the tournament MVP. The Hoosiers will be back in action when they play in the Hoosier Classic at home on Friday, September 15th and Saturday the 16th.
One IU women's basketball player got the opportunity of a lifetime over the summer. Our Dan Black has the story.
IUSTV Sports inside Simon Scott Assembly Hall. It was a summer that won't soon be forgotten for one Indiana women's basketball player. While the rest of her team traveled to Italy, star senior guard Tyra Buss traveled to Colorado Springs to attend the Team USA U23 trials. While at the trials, Buss got to play with and against some of the best talent women's college basketball has to offer. She also got to be coached by some of the greatest coaches women's basketball has to offer as well, such as Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley, who gave her advice that she plans to bring to her Hoosier teammates.
No, just not a lot was a lot of basketball, but they talked a lot of being a great leader and being a great teammate. Dawn and Gino, they talked a lot about those type of things, not just on the court, but how you can help be a great leader, being a great teammate, because it's not about just what you do, whether you score the most points, they said, or whether you get the most rebounds, get the most assists, things like that. It's more of just being positive and being a great teammate, helping each other, being a great leader on the floor, especially that brought a lot to me just from being a point guard and having to be that leader on the floor. So I definitely took a lot from them. It was nice to be able to hear what they had to say, and so I'm glad that I had that opportunity.
Unfortunately, Buss did not make the team, which is headed to Japan to compete. Her consolation prize, joining her team in Italy to play 3 exhibition games, which her head coach Terry Morin was pretty excited about.
We found out she didn't. We were, of course, disappointed for her, but it was bittersweet because then she got to come join us in Italy. So, from a leadership standpoint, for having her there with our team and in those 3 games was really important.
For IUSTV Sports, I'm Dan Black.
Buss will look to be named to the All-Big Ten first team for a 3rd consecutive season when the Hoosiers season starts on November 6th.
The IU men's golf team opened their season in Zionsville, Indiana at the Wolf Run Intercollegiate this past weekend. The Hoosiers finished the tournament with a score of 914, which put them in 11th place. Freshman Ethan Shepard led Indiana with a 223 for the weekend. He tied for 18th place in his college debut. IU also had golfers tie for 23rd, 49th, and 58th. The Hoosiers will be back in action on the links this weekend when they head to Chicago for the Olympia Fields Fighting Illini Invitational this weekend.
Don't forget to like our page, IUSTV Sports, on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at IUSTV Sports. For Austin Matricardi, I'm Lydia Knoll. We'll see you next week.